Okay, I'll show you the last funny spot. It's a good opening anyways.
Well,
Off
soldier's
that
not
grader.
there, by the way.
Okay. Last funny spot and then we can start. Okay. Funny spot, funny spot, funny spot.
Oh, so you can stand there and then their sniper goes out the side exit and headshots you.
Do you not know TF2 players don't look at that?
TF2 Hunt. Try a jackpot. Okay. So, has everyone here played Warmtic before?
Yes.
So
Unfortunately.
is Mr. Demoman here?
Yeah, hello.
He's
Hello, I
here.
am the Demoman.
So how do you usually roll out? What do you like?
Going out left, probably.
Yeah, the left and the... What's the lag?
What?
Huh?
Server's
What?
just nice.
Server's just
Oh.
dying.
Cool.
Server's
Oh,
dead,
it's fine,
what?
nice, it worked. Okay, let's back up. So anyways, yeah, so you do the jump to there, and then you jump to there, and then you land there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So usually what you do, right, is everyone just runs like this in the beginning, because then it's easy to get everyone buffed, you know? It's the main thing. And then up in this point, they split up. So you can have your scout go right, or left, or through house, whatever, you know? Okay, so main thing, right? Usually you send your heavy and your sniper top here, and they just chill here. Your heavy plays from here in the beginning, or from here, and your sniper like can do whatever, but usually plays this beginning angle to counter snipe that sniper angle from top right? That's the main thing. Or he goes there himself. Basically trying to counter snipe the enemy sniper. And you have a lot of angle. Sniper's really important on this map. There's lots of sidelines and stuff. So yeah. Be scared of that. Right, lot like this. Then you got this one, this one, this one, and that kind of stuff, you know? Be careful of snipers, basically. That's the idea. And you can go cheek angle from here, try to get the heavy or whatever. So, yeah, that's it. Those are all sniper sidelines. Like, oh yeah, I missed one. Yeah, like this. Then of course, anyone on this roof. Okay. So, usually you send your sniper just to kind of, like the beginning you just kind of counter snipe each other and shit. Like, the main thing why you go with your heavy is because you're safe from spies, right? They can spy check you and shit. A heavy why do you go top left so they can't jump here with anyone and rush your sniper and shit in the beginning, right? So for soldier, you're the most important class on this map in general, right? And as a general rule of thumb, you're playing upper and you're playing under, basically. But you can also play on point. Like soldier's really like so under is really underutilized usually in my opinion. Soldier can really easily abuse, just peek aggro, get a couple rockets out, and just go back, you know. But like your other job is to basically make sure their soldier can't bomb onto you, and then also bomb onto them. So you're also on high ground a lot, basically. That's kind of the idea. Like if you can get into their top right, that's really good for your team. Basically, if you can get that for free, that's really good. It's another reason why your heavy plays top left usually. Okay. Then next thing. Yeah, so medic, pyro, scout, demo usually roll out to the point, and the idea is you just get early, right? Like the idea is right. So look at the point, right? The point is high ground. So whoever pushes the point first and holds it, right, without getting destroyed while pushing onto it, right, wins. Because you can use high ground to spam death down upon them, right? The only thing they have is the crate thing. That's why the top right's also really important to have control of, right? It's because their heavy can peek and then they have high ground onto you, even though you should have the better high ground, right? That's the idea. So it's also like a crossfire. Let's say they play from there and the other guys play from here. Now they have a crossfire really easy onto you on the point. So that's what you don't want, right? So for mid fights, right? You kind of just send your people point and your demo just puts a bunch of stickies here so they can't peek, and then you just try to cap, you know? Like you get a pick and you cap basically, or you push onto, like, or if you get a lot of damage, you just push off of that. That's the idea. Okay. Like, and just try to cap first, bully them out and shit, and then your flank is ready to collapse on them at all times. So engineers, is he in here?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So what do you usually do on this map? Like, how do you like to play it?
I haven't played engineer on this map before.
Okay, so I'll give you some default route. Like, of course, tele is really important on this map. So if you look at this map, right, teleport is a pretty long walk from there to the fight. So it's really important you have a level 3 tele up a lot, right? That's really, really big. If you can have a level 3 tele up the entire game, you usually win. It's a big tip. Right, as long as your team is not buffoons, like, that's really good to do. So if you're the spies in here as well, right? I hope.
We don't have a main spy.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, if you don't have a main spy, whatever, right? But like, if you can kill the tele, do it as a spy, cause it's if I'll just count it, right? Like, average speed class, let's go pyro. It's counted for you, right? Power eject pyro, so it's even faster than average. Let's say you normally put the tele exit there, right? That's a good spot, and then entrance here. So that's kind of how much time it actually is per person if you don't have a tele. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds to get to the same spot you could have just taken a level 3 tele for. You know? It buys you a lot of time having a tele up all the time. Okay, second thing, when you're mid fighting, put the dispenser like right there. Like on the left side, like on this hub. Right here, basically. Okay? And then usually you put minis or level 3s. That's up to you, whatever you like. Right? It's fine to run bow as long as you use it well enough. I would advise running Wrangler is pretty good. Right? Pistol can also work, but Wrangler is pretty good. So you usually put level 3s or minis here to watch under and bombs and shit. And then you can move it up to in banana here because you can put it on this ramp and you can like wrangle the shit out of it from here, right? And then you put your dispenser like right there when you're holding banana. Okay? You see that?
Yeah.
That's kind of some ideas you can do.
Does this spot work at all? Because I'd seen this
On the
before.
ramp here.
Hang on. It's putting a mini here work, so you can
Yeah, that's fine.
delete people or.
Yeah,
just
that works. That's fine.
Alright.
If it's a mini, yeah. Like,
Okay.
of course. Not level 3 though, just spam if it's a level 3, but yeah, mini, yeah, sure. Yeah, mini you can be a lot more flexible, don't just put it in some spot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I like mini myself, because you can just like, kind of shotgun shark under. Right at the frontier justice or something, that's really good. Like, just shotgun shark and shit like that. It's pretty good, man. Or you can like, you just roam a bit. Put extra cap time on point as well. Like, I like it that way, a bit more flexible, right? You're not just building your gun all the time. You only have to worry about tele and dispenser. Makes it a lot easier, right? So.
Yeah. How much priority should I? You said teleport is super important. How much priority should I put on getting that set up?
Depends on the situation, right?
All right.
Like, if you have
Like-
the time, you should always prioritize putting up a tele.
Mm.
But like, if you have time and you think spy and prioritize the spy. Like, it's obvious, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of straightforward, but like, as a general, it's more like a general rule of thumb. If you can get a tele up and it doesn't cost you that much, just do it straight away. Like, even walk all the way back to spawn and build the entrance again, right? After you want to fight, like, especially like just after you wipe them and shit, right? And your tele was destroyed during the fight, just go back to spawn and build your tele up to level 2, and then go back, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Just build tele entrance and exit again, right? That's fine. Yeah.
No.
Like dispenser is also important because of sacks, right? So it really depends on the situation. Like if you just wipe the enemy gamers, you might as well just put the tele back out. Right, just go back to spawn with tele up. That's the general rule of thumb for KOF. Right, I'd just say it's important that you make sure it's up. That's just the general thing. It's not that big a deal if it isn't, but like, don't have it be down for half the map, half the round, right? That's a bit too long. Like, and if the spy focuses it, that's also good for you, because then you know where he is all the time, you can start spy checking him easier, right? Makes him easier to spy check, so. Yeah, Okay, let's go scout again. Yeah, so yeah, main ideas, right? It's just like another thing you see demos do on rollout is they like if you look at like a high diff game or like Joe or Pluxa, they send their demo here, and they just spam sticks and pipes on the crate like this. They just spam through this, like this, and they just spam that the angle like that. That's also a good strat, right? Because you could get raped if you like by their demo doing that. So that's a good strat if you can like sticky jump to there. It's also easier for you to get arrowed, right? Because you're a bit more visible for your medic. You can already get arrowed back here if he jumps, right? You know, so yeah, that's also fine way to do it, right? Just go here and then just put some sticky spam on. And pipe spam, you put some sticks here, and then you spam some pipes. So yeah, never spam stickies in their knockoff, right? I think you know that. It's like more important to get the trap with stickies, spam with pipes. And I also have pipes loaded for Ubers. And like people trying to rush you. So never spam all your pipes either. If you don't need to, you know? If you don't have a trap or whatever. Or no one protecting you. And the idea is like your demo, okay, so demo's never gonna spy check unless the spy is going for him, right? So Pyro Scout, Medic, deal with that for him, please. Common spy uncloaks are like right in this corner, right? Lower left here. In mansion, or also known as shit house. Then in house as well, right? Maybe even on this back wall. Sometimes down here is good. On the telly, really good. Not in the bush. The bush is a shit uncloak. Some people do use it, but it's really easy to catch, so don't be scared of that much. Window uncloak is quite dangerous. You got this uncloak right here. This uncloak right here. This uncloak right here. This uncloak can be somewhat dangerous, but it's dealable. This on same shit, but it's easy to deal with if you just have a heavy here, right? Then for the other side, yeah, in this bush, behind this wall here, or like right like this. Then also in this bush, and this is a bit less common. Like sometimes they put play here, but it's not that common. That's about it for the major ones. Yeah, on these planks and trying to do trick stab while you come out of spawn. Sometimes happens. And then you have this uncloak on the box here, and on the opposite side. It's also a thing. And then like right here, right here, right here. Okay, that's about it for spy. Yeah, and this one, not that common though, hard to get into. And also east to spy check yet again, because you see the entire area. So common crosses for spies is where they push out right side, go like this, then they go either drop down, or they go like this and they go like this, or they go there banana. Another common one is where they come through house or through left side and just walk point, and just go like this, like same shit basically. The most common one is where spy goes like this, drops down, goes like this. That's the most common. Right, because then he has the ammo kit. Like, you utilize the ammo kit for crossing if you're spy, I think. Yeah, for scout, right? You're kind of roamy as fuck. So there's a couple things you can do early on in the fight if you want to change it up a bit. So there's a strat where you just kind of like rush this. You go like this. Go like this. Double jump. Double jump. And you fuck the sniper. Because the heavy's slow, right? Like, even if he gets whipped, he's somewhat slow, so you will get the sniper before the heavy gets there, and you can sometimes get a cheeky sniper kill, and then just get out in the beginning of a mid fight. And then just dip into banana. Alright, so you see, you will be playing this banana a lot usually, your banana, on the mid fight, and you'll just be playing point with your team, trying to pressure, get cap time. And you chase spies, whatever. Just a bit roamy, right? That's kind of the idea for you. As a soldier, really depends on how you want to play. Like, you can sack instantly, you can go under, you can go up top with your heavy, you can go top right on that side, right there. It's really up to you. what you feel like, to be honest. It's a decent gunboats map, but Conch is also really good. So it's whatever you want, to be honest. For Pyro, yeah, as I said, right, it's all about getting pressure on the point. So you just prioritize helping your demo with that, right? That's kind of the idea. And then you spy check a bit. Like, the main thing with Pyro is that you don't take too much damage while you're doing it, because you want to keep your heals in your demo, because you can obviously do more than you can. So don't steal heals from your demo. Just kind of like help them out, you know? Like, don't take too much damage, right? And when you push, you can push in first, right? That's fine as well. Just make space for your demo to walk in on. Even if you die, that usually can win you the push if your scout and demo walk with you, and then the rest of your team follows up on that. You know? That's fine. But like the idea for Pyro here is you just kind of like do as much pressure as you can without like taking too much from your team, basically. Like you step in where your demo's not peeking. Like the detonator's pretty good because you can kind of just keep flames on them and spam them for like 35 mini crit, right? Constantly. It's a really good way to do it. What classes didn't I go over yet? Any questions for mid fight for other classes? That's kind of still a mid fight, but no. Speak now or forever hold your breath. Come on. No? Really clear? That obvious? Okay, nice. So yeah, you win the mid fight or you lose it, whatever. So if you win, right, how do you want to hold? So the biggest mistake you can make on Warmtic is that you hold behind points instantly. Like you always want to try to hold as aggressive as you can on Warmtic and then just give up space slowly. Because if you hold behind point instantly, they can instantly start putting people there, and then you'll get spammed out really, and they can put people behind here instantly. It'll basically just turn it into another mid fight, even if you have Ubrad or whatever. So it's kind of disadvantageous for you. So kind of how you want to play is just behind the crate on point, right? You just make sure you have top right control and the sniper can't peek from there. And then your demo just plays aggro, puts stickies there, Pyro peeks aggro a bit, reflex if a soldier bombs or if someone spams from there or whatever. You know, and the heavy's here to help, spy check, whatever. You kind of just play super aggro, right? You can put your sniper on this crate, peeking aggro and shit. Maybe even in banana peeking like this with your scout or engineer to protect him. You know, that's the kind of stuff you want to do. So the biggest mistake, as I said before, the biggest mistake you can make, I'll tell you this much. If it seems like an equal game, but you lose, it's because you didn't hold aggro enough and you had the point. It's that simple. Like, in your diff, 9 times out of 10, it's because you didn't hold aggro enough once you get the point. Like, it's even fine to hold, if you can do it and it works, just fucking hold on this house, lock down all the spawns, and you win. You know, that could work. The spawn camp him. Like, do it, man. Why not? You know, could do it. If it works, like, just do it. You know? Like, just put your heels here on the right side, the spawn camp, really easy. You know? So yeah. The idea is, right, you put your... Okay, so when you do an aggro hold, right, there's not really that much reason for your heavy to stay up there, right? So at that point, you can probably, as a heavy, just drop down and play with your combo in general, right? Or you can play here or whatever. In general, you don't have to be up top, right? Because the good thing about playing aggro is your sniper doesn't have to use the top left sideline because he can just use the point sideline instead, right? That's the main thing. Like, and the idea is you just make sure your sniper can stay aggro, and then they can never walk it. And if you manage to keep your sniper aggro and he keeps getting kills, they will never be able to walk in as long as your demo puts out enough pressure, right? So here's also why soldier is the most difficult class and also the most important class on the map, right? Because if your soldier feeds, they kind of get a free angle for free, right? But if your soldier's not playing aggro enough, when you hold the point, they can walk in, right? So it kind of like when you have the point, right? If you're soldier, your ID should be, I fucking hold aggro, but I also don't die, and that's really difficult to do, and that takes a lot of practice to do well, right? So that might mean you play under aggro, or you play the stop right with a beam with an arrow from time to time from your medic, or whatever, or maybe you play on their left side with your scout. Don't know, right? Doesn't really matter that much as long as you like A, put out pressure, and B, don't die for nothing. So whenever they push the point, you can always like have your combo back off into banana maybe, and then have your other people back off like behind point or onto top left, right? And then you have a crossfire onto them when they try to push point. That's the main idea basically, right? Yeah, so any questions about holding aggro? Right? So as I said, you have the aggro hold where you just hold a point and shit, right? But then you also have the banana hold, where you hold, that's basically the hold you come into when you hold a bit more passive. So the big thing about the banana hold is that you don't allow them to push in past the corner when you hold banana, right? The idea of holding banana is you can sit back here and just keep spamming there. But you never want to allow them to push into you with a pyro like this, because then they can air blast you off the point, right? So you always want to block it as soon as they try to turn the point. You want to make sure you into them. So if you do a banana hold, like you make sure your Uber is better than theirs, so you pop aggressive into them, right? You use your Uber proactively, and then you see if you win or not, right? Right? So it's fine to pop first when you're holding the point. That's the one thing that's really counterintuitive to most new players. Like, it's usually fine to pop early if you gain respawners or whatever by doing that, right? Especially on Warmtic. Like, if they get around this corner with their pyro for free, right? And then they get this deep, and they can just lock you down into banana if you didn't push out, right? So if they get too deep already, you should be rotating already and re-pushing from this side, because it's a much easier side to block from, right? Or you should have used earlier and just gone into them instead of them coming into you, right? And that's how you play banana hold. So yeah, the other hold is you just hold normally like you do in mid fight, and that's kind of the same as a mid fight. The way you hold and the way you play is kind of the same as a mid fight, right? So I'm not really gonna explain that. It's kind of like self-evident. Like the main advantage you want to take advantage of is that you can put people top left and in the banana as well, so you can get a crossfire. When you're defending, that's really important that you keep that crossfire going. That's your main advantage, right? But like at that stage, it's just kind of a DM fight, right? Yeah. So re-pushing the point, it's almost always easiest to do it from here, right? Sometimes you can do it from banana as well, but usually, right, like especially when they're holding banana, you want to push from this side usually. Or there's another strat where you send your combo like this, and you do like a heavy drop down Uber or whatever, and that's how you do it. The big danger of that being an reflect from the fire. Yeah, someone wanted to say something? Yeah, go ahead. No? Okay. So like the idea being that you just get onto their banana quick, right? And you lock them in instantly, and in the meantime the people behind you cap. So you kind of just send like 2 people in to drop down in the Uber, right? And you still have your soldier up top and maybe your heavy state there, and it's just pyro demo drop down or whatever. You lock them into that choke, and in the meantime your scout, NG sniper, spy start capping, you know? And then like you just put 2 people against their 4, and then the rest of your team deals with the flank, which usually like on the right side or an under or whatever, right? Another way to re-push, like the main idea when they're holding banana, is kind of like you lock them in there, and if you want to kill them, you make sure people like rocket jump over and lock down the back. So basically you can rocket jump and your soldier can land on this roof, right? And then you have a back rape as soon as they try to back out of banana, right? And the other thing you can do is you can send your flank through under or through drop down and shit, and that's how you do it, right? So the other thing you can do, right, as I said before, let's say you're holding point aggro, right? Let's not talk about recapping, but let's say you still the point holding aggro, and they try to make space here, right? They got this space, and now you're holding a bit more passive in banana, but their medic's holding like right here, right? So if you know the medic's like this close, what you can do is you can just pop your Uber on the heavy through here, and then your demo behind, and you just kill the medic who's standing right here. Right, if you know he's really close, you should just do it that way, right? So that's the big danger you have to be careful of as well, is when you take this space, you kind of, like when you're out here as a medic, you kind of want to have Uber when you're trying to retake the point. Like before that, you should just chill back a bit, and like, especially before you repush, you always want to kind of group up behind house, right? Or in this connector or whatever. Like you never want to walk in 1-1-1, because if they are holding aggro, that will just be feeding, right? So always just, when you want to retake the point and you're holding aggro, always regroup behind the house first and then get everyone buffs, basically. And then you take your space slowly, and you can do it a bit more coordinated, right? That's the idea behind that. Alright, so that's the other big thing about retaking is make sure everyone gets buffs. Because that makes things a lot easier, especially on this map. Because it's such a wide and long map, right? There's a lot of places to fight in. So just your team having buffs and their team not having them will be able to get you a lot of space and shit. Like you can usually take behind crates like, pretty freely, right? Any questions so far about the map?
Are there any potential for funny strats going under?
Yes, so under, right? So on a mid fight, what you can do is you can kind of you could buff your heavy and your pyro and your soldier in the beginning, and then all three of them just rush under, and then they get the cheeky fucking flank. Like they just bust through and they just get your medic. Right? If they just rush with power jack and whips and shit, and they just rush straight through, right? With full bust.
Yeah.
Like, so the big risk of doing that is that if their soldier then instantly bombs your medic, he's kind of defenseless, right? So when that strat is called, as a scout and engineer, you kind of want to play a bit closer to your medic, right? But like the other good thing about that is when they rush, right? Then your demo who's still playing point with medic and scout can just rush over point as soon as they turn around to deal with you. Right? As soon as their demo is not paying attention to point, right? Like the only thing that can really block you from pushing over point with them out, if you time it well, is a pyro. Right, so as long as their pyro also is like if their team is distracted, you can usually like collapse on point really easy because of that, you know. So just heavy pyro rush and then maybe an NG or with that is really good, you know. Like it's also an opportunity for your soldier to bomb them, right? Like if a soldier doesn't go under, you can like bomb on off the section plane shit. And it also allows your spy to go for a really like cocky uncloak, like straight away uncloak here, go for stab as soon as you flank push and shit. It allows for cocky plays and shit, quick wipes and stuff. You can play really aggro on that. And like if you get spotted early, you just back off instantly, right? You have buffs, so you can just back off, right? That's the idea. Like a lot of the time, you can also see sometimes spies like to cross under as well, right? So you get easy spy frag as a pyro as well. Like the main downside, as I said, you put heavy and pyro under, right? If you put heavy and pyro under, that means your heavy's not top right, and that means your pyro's not with your combos. That means your medic and them are really easy to bomb. That's the one at disadvantage of it, right? Because your two best deniers for bombs are gone. But yeah, that's a good funny strategy. Like in general, like underutilizing, like if you manage to utilize under well, you can usually win the map. Because if you time your under play, like if you do plays under and you time them well, like you can do some mad damage. Like if you use under too much and you keep feeding, that's different. So it's really all about timing when it comes to under, right? Like don't never use it. That's what I would say about it. Like as a demo man you can sometimes do like you can just push through under sometimes as well, right? And that sometimes is fine. But like it's only good when they don't know you're doing it, basically. Because if they know you're doing it, they just put their pyro there and you get cucked, right? So yeah. Like the other thing is, as a rule of thumb, as a demo man, you wanna not go under, right? Just leave it to the rest of your team, and you just play point the entire fucking time. Like, and only when you don't have nothing to do, you can turn around, maybe. But like general rule of thumb, your demo just keeps fucking point, putting stickies on the heavy top right, putting stickies drop down if you try to peek it, put stickies on this area, put stickies there, whatever, right? It's mainly for the demo. It's mainly just keeping pressure on their team so they can't push for free. So you always know when they're pushing, right? Like it's mainly the Pyro's job to kind of like fill those gaps when needed, basically. So Spyro's not always playing with your demo, right? So he's filling those gaps when needed. That's the big thing about Pyro. But like Pyro can be really strong if you time that kind of shit well. Okay, any questions? Yeah, so for Medic, kind of straightforward, right? It's a cough map. So don't die to the sniper, don't die to the spy, be careful of bombs, you know. And make sure you don't drop people on Ubers, you know. Like, and as a rule of thumb, right? Like, don't bait your teams too much with heals. Like, the more aggro you can keep the heals in general, the better for your team it is. So if you can feel like you can get away with holding aggro, you do it. Right? Okay. And if you then like to spy, it's your team's fault. Because as long as you're with your team, it's never your fault if you die. In my opinion, right? It's almost never your fault if you die, as long as you're with your team. So just do that. That's all you need to do. Just follow main calls in that regard, you know. So any questions about Warmtic? Was that clear?
Is there any potential for running crits?
Yeah. Surprise plays. Right? Surprise crits mainly. You respawn, you go crits, you get surprise crit. It's kind of a... I guess it's the same as on any CoF map, right? Like if you time it well, it can be really good. Like especially a random crit sticky from here. Charge crit sticky, perfectly placed, can wipe their medic. Because this has an angle on this dispenser right here. So it's a good, like if you can manage to find it, it's really good crits. Right? Or you can crit from the stop left or whatever. Through this window. Yeah, it can work. But in general, this is an Uber map. And the main reason being is because point is high ground, right? So because point is high ground, it makes it a lot easier to hold with Uber than it is with crits. Right. Like, because if you, like, the idea is, right, like, even as long as your Uber keeps you the high ground, and you don't lose any players, you'll win the fight. Because it's high ground, right? That's the idea of this point. Like, if you have better positioning after Uber, that's your goal, basically. You don't really give a fuck about kills. More about the positioning. Right, that's why for Pyro you can really easily like nudge peek this, get really easy reflex. Like same from here even, but same from this angle. Right, so it's kind of more about controlling. Like also the way you use your stickies, you don't want to instantly dead them, just leave them there is usually better, right? It scares them off a lot more. Stuff like that, right? Okay. And the rest, yeah, it's kind of practice at that stage. Like how you want to play it is all up to your team, honestly, right? But yeah, rule of thumb, combo's combo, right? And the only like switch or rewrite is with the heavy top left. But like, it's really good for your solo to play there as well, right? Just stack it with a bunch of people. The main reason why heavy top left is so good when you're like mid fighting or like defending the point really passively, right? It's because you get this really nice rape line like this. Like when they try to cap, you basically rape them without really peeking the sniper. It's just that sideline you have to watch out for, right? And then spies. So the nice bombs really well because you have an entire good vision of the entire bomb area, right? That's the other main thing with it. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, if your heavy doesn't like playing there though, like you can just play behind point with demo. That's fine. It's just that usually, right, on at least on the mid fight, he should be top left. So, like, and in general, like, when you're holding a point, there's not really a reason for him to be all the way back here, right? So you might as well be with your medic as well. So, that's the other thing. But like, some of the best heavies just permanently sit top right sometimes. You can, like, especially some Russians do that really well. So, that's something you need to be scary of. Because, yeah, it can rape your push, right? If you Uber in and the heavy fucks you after Uber. That's kind of the really big danger of that. So it's really important your sniper gets enough space to deal with that kind of shit. If you're a spy as well, you wanna, like, yeah, heavy's a big pick, pyro's like any combo classes are a big pick basically, and then sniper of course, right? And then for spy, his main focus should be the enemy sniper, and then like anything else you can get in tellies, basically. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done. It's not that much to this map. It's a golf map, right? Unless you want me to go over callouts. Or do you know them?
That would be nice.
Yeah, so what's this called?
Banana?
Yeah, their banana. And this is your banana. Okay. Okay, what's this called?
Shithouse.
Shithouse mansion. Yeah. This?
Hose. Window. No clue.
This is bats.
Alright.
Heavy spot. Crates. Drop down. Under. Then yeah, this is just house. Okay. Yeah, I got the truck, right? Yeah. Our right side, just the general area. Main. Left spawn, right, whatever. Depends on which side you're on. Back stairs. Stairs. And back stairs. Really important that you separate it. This stairs, this is back stairs. And this is ramp. Right, so you can use all of the... Like, if you call stairs or ramp, it's kind of like... It's usually just this angle. Or the one below it, so... It's not really that big a difference, right? Like, if he's below, you can call he's on the health kit on ramp. Yeah, he's just on the health kit. Like, this is also called main. So... Because it's the main it's the main way to push back in, usually. Right. And then, like, you have, the top left and top... Yeah, the top left area. It's like a little elbow thingy, basically. It's platform. I think people call it platform or whatever. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, and then you got the... Yeah. The metal Grady's thingies, the signs, whatever.
Guys, by the way, I
Cringe.
haven't managed to find a scrim. Nobody said, yo, scrim 20, so there's a relatively high chance we'll be playing.